If you're like most of us guitar players, we started guitar by just grabbing the instrument and noodling around. That led to a few discoveries. Maybe you took a few lessons, maybe you read a few books that put names to the things that you discovered, but it really started with a discovery. And today we're reconnecting with that rediscovery. We're going to train our ears in an organic way, not a mathematical way. It's going to be fun, it's going to be interactive, and you're going to get a lot out of this lesson. Grab your guitar. I'll meet you right after this. Hello, this is David from the Wallerman Guitar Artistry. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world develop their musical personality on the instrument. Today is all about ear training. We're going to put names to things that you probably already know. Why would we do that? Well, we're doing that because once you can put a name to a concept, that concept becomes clearer and it becomes alive. It becomes something that you can refer to in your daily guitar practice. So yes, it might be triggering the mathematical way of thinking about music a little bit, but stick with it because I don't think that music is all about theory and mathematical concepts. And no, music is a storytelling experience. So keep that in mind as we go through these different concepts, and you're going to get a lot out of it. So before we get started, there is a worksheet that is going to be very useful for you. You can grab that worksheet that I'll be referring to in this lesson for free. There's a link below that will take you to a sign-up page, completely free. Sign up once, and then you'll get access to the assets of this video and many other videos. One more thing. This video is the first video of a series. This week on the channel, we are talking about ear training. And that's very, very important. That's really the missing key to a lot of players to go a little bit further. This is the first video of that series. So watch it and be on the lookout for other videos. This week, every day, you're going to get a new ear training video. Just like that. Very practical. All right. Well, we need to talk about intervals a little bit. It's simple stuff. Very simple. What is an interval? An interval is the distance between two notes. Why would you care about that? Well, you would care about that because a note by itself, it's a sound, right? You just hear this. Well, okay, that's a sound. Great. It doesn't really tell me anything. Now, if I play this in relation to something else, that thing gets a meaning. Without anything, it's just a note with no meaning. Now, if I play this in relation to this, oh, that thing tells me something. What does it tell you? Well, that's up to you to figure it out, but it tells you something. And that note, that pitch, which told you something here, can tell you something completely different if it was played in relation to this, right? It's a different thing. Same note, different feeling, right? And that is very important because without emotions, without feelings, well, music is, why? It's not what we like about music. Knowing your intervals, the distance between two notes, and knowing what kind of emotion is going to trigger the listener gives you a lot of power, right? And that's what we're going to cover today. So we're going to approach this very differently than you might be used to. I'm going to start with definitions of intervals. And if this is not new to you, if you've watched other videos on the channel, you're aware of that. You can skip this part, but really quick, here's the master shape. We can start that master shape from any fret. It doesn't matter, but we're going to start it here on the 6th string, okay? We'll start on the 6th string, 5th fret. Here's the master shape. 8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? This is the fingering that I'm using. And again, the charts are available for you. The download is below. But starting on the lowest string, we have 2 notes on frets 5, 7. On the next string, we have 3 notes, frets 4, 5, 7. And on the next string, we have 4, 6, 7. Okay, get used to that shape. Up and down. As you're doing this, say the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then play a little bit with that. What if I do this? Well, that's a 1, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 8, 7, and then try 8, 7, 5. Yes, 5, 6. If you're completely off, you're doing 8, 7, 5. Match your voice to the pitch that you're playing on the instrument. Do that for a little bit, okay? That's really, really going to help. We played intervals. Now, we didn't play all the intervals, but these notes that we played had a different meaning, right? Because in your mind, you heard that first note. Every note that I'm playing here has a definition, has a meaning, because it's played in relation to that one. Now, I didn't play that one all the time at the same time. I played each note individually. But you still heard the one, that attraction. Okay? That's the master shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why do we use that master shape? It sounds like something you've heard before, right? The major scale, that's what it is. The cool thing with the major scale is that it lists all the possible intervals in their natural state or their major state. What? Yes, an interval can be major or minor, or perfect, or augmented, or diminished. It could be all these things. Those are adjectives that you add to the intervals, but in their natural state, their standardized state, they're either major or perfect. Well, how do you know? Well, you just have to memorize that. The fourth and the fifth are perfect. They're not major, they're not minor, they're perfect. They're hybrids, whatever, genderless. The fourth and the fifth. And to remember that, those are in the middle, because between 1 and 8, you have all the possible intervals. 8 is going to be, it's referred to as the octave. They have the same function. The 1 and the 8 have the same exact function. If I play this and this together, well, yeah, they're different pitches, but they mean the same thing. As opposed to, oh, that's tensed. It has a meaning. This is kind of like vanilla flavor. I love vanilla. Maybe vanilla is not a good idea. Okay, so the fourth and the fifth are perfect, and you can remember that because they're right in the middle. 1 and 8. Okay, we're gonna gradually go and see what's in the middle. 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. Yes, right in the middle. Those are perfect. Okay, all the other intervals that I played here are major. Okay, so play a little game here, and I play something like this. All right, well, you go to your master shape and you try to match these pitches on your guitar. Dum, dum, and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I played a 1 and a 5. The distance between these two notes is a perfect fifth. Why not major fifth? Well, because we just said that they're not. 4 and 5 are perfect. Okay, now, what if I played something like this? Well, follow your shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 7. That is a major 7. All right, one more. What if I played this? Ooh, I played them together. So you've got to kind of dissect that. Now, yes, sure, you can use the visual here, but if you're closing your eyes, you should hear. Dun-dum, dun-dum. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. A perfect fourth. Great. So that's how it works. Now, what about the missing notes? For instance, there is a note between this and this, right? 5 and 7, there's a 6 there. What is that? Well, that's where the term minor comes into the picture. A major interval is made minor by reducing the space between these two intervals by 1 fret. So you're not gonna move the 1. The 1 stays stable. That's the attraction note. You're gonna move the 2. The major second becomes minor second by moving that major second 1 fret below. Yes, I know, you might be completely confused. I get it. Because just speaking about all these numbers and all that, the vocabulary gets confusing. But it's really simple if you use your logic and if you keep in mind the end goal, which really the end goal will be to be closer to your music and the story you want to tell. So please stick with me. Okay, so now you can make any major interval minor by reducing the space. So for example, if we go back to this, that's a major second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2. Move that second a half step below, 1 fret below. Now the distance between these two notes is the shortest distance we have on the guitar, unless we start bending, but we're not going to do that. And that's a minor second. All right, there's one more thing, one more term I want to tell you about, and it's this note right here between the perfect fourth and the perfect fifth. We said that these are perfect, they're not major. So that note in the middle there, between the perfect fourth and the perfect fifth, well, it can't be a minor note because we said that there's no major fifth, and a minor only exists because there's a major. So that note in between, we're going to use two other adjectives, and the adjectives that we're going to use, the terms, are augmented and diminished. Those two terms could be applied to anything. Augment means make bigger, so you're going to move the perfect 1 fret higher. Diminished is the other way around. You're going to move the perfect 1 fret below. So that note in between here that we have, almost done with the math thing. That note that we have in between here, right here, the 6th fret, can be called, depends, it could be called a diminished 5th or an augmented 4th, right? It doesn't matter. Now, why? Why two names for the same pitch? Well, it has to do with classical music, really. In classical music, you don't want to have two similar intervals in the same scale when you're describing a scale. So you don't want to have a perfect fifth followed by a diminished fifth, or a perfect fifth followed by an augmented fifth. That augmented fifth, because the term fifth was already used, we're going to call it diminished fourth. Do not worry about that. It's irrelevant for this. It doesn't matter. All right. If you stuck with me till the end, good, we're still recording, so I didn't want to redo this. Awesome. Now, why? Why all this? Because it's going to simplify your mind when you're playing, and a clear mind helps you focus on the creativity. This is the fundamental thing of music theory, and I'm asked a lot, which scale should I use on this chord? Or which modes should I learn first? Well, here's the main thing. You want to match scales with chords. Duh, of course. But how do you do that? Well, with these intervals. So if we have a chord, any chord, a really pretty chord, or a weird chord, these are chords, 2 or more notes played at the same time make a chord. These notes, these pitches, exist in relation to each other. And they also exist in relation to the magnet, the note that really attracts the others, which usually is the bass. By definition, these notes that have a meaning are intervals, right? They're measured, they're attracted to that magnet, which usually is the bass, and that's what gives these notes a meaning. A tensed meaning, or maybe a really nice, pretty meaning, right? If we can match scales to chords, then we will have something melodic, something that is not tensed, and the best way to do that is to look at the intervals of a chord, or to hear those intervals in a chord. So if you have a chord like this, and I determine that these notes are a 1, a 5, a 1 again, a third, a major third, a perfect fifth, well, I really have 3 types of notes. I have 1, major third, fifth. Then I can pick from a collection of scales, or even make up a scale. I don't need to know the name of that scale, and match these elements. So I can just pick any scale that has a 1, major 3, 5. And there are a lot. There's this one. It matches, right? But there's also this. or this. Right? They all have in common the notes of the chords, and that's why it's so important. Okay, oh my gosh, you made it that far. This is a 15-minute video, and if you made it that far, congratulations, because now starts the really fun part. We had to start with the definitions. Now that you know the importance of being able to hear intervals, because that will allow you to know what scale to match, or what lick to match, or what chords to create over, all of that. Now we're gonna get comfortable with those, and that's where your job begins. That's where the PDF sheet that I mentioned at the beginning of the video that is available below for download is so beneficial. You're gonna start with songs that you like, things that are in your mind or things that you know how to play even better. It could be a riff, it could be a lick, anything, as long as you know exactly how to play that thing and you know exactly what it sounds like. Happy birthday to you, for example. We use that all the time here. That song, da-da-bam, just figure out how to play it on the instrument. Hopefully you know already. It's got to start with something you know. Okay, great. So I've got that. I'm playing it here. On the 4th string, frets 7, 7, 9, 7, da-da. Okay, the first 2 notes are important, the first 2 different pitches. So this right here, if you go back to your master shape, that's a major second. A major second, therefore, you associate it with a melodic idea, a theme, a song, whatever, something that you know, an interval. Major second is happy birthday. So if you hear a chord, any chord, if you hear this, pay attention to the magnet, the lowest note, ma, you can consider that the one, la, kind of low, right? But that's okay. Can you sing happy birthday from here? Happy birthday to you, ba-da-bum. Ba is the major second of this. So play that. Ba. Do you like this? La. Does it work? La, la. La. An octave higher. La, la. Yeah, beautiful. I like it. That's the sound of a second or a 9th an octave higher. But it started with a song. The PDF that I mentioned below lists all these intervals, major, minor, perfect, diminished, augmented, and how to play them on the instrument. Start with a song, any song that you're comfortable with, and figure out on your instrument if you can match one of these intervals with that song. The more you do that, the more you'll be comfortable with the sound of a 9th, like we did, or an augmented 4th, or because you associated songs that you already know with these intervals, and that's going to be so beneficial. Now I realize that's a lot of intervals, you might say. Yes, it is, but you don't have to do them all at once. Just start with the songs you already know, and you'll be surprised at how many intervals you already know. It's just a matter of naming them. Do it really slowly, maybe one new song a week, or whenever you pick up the guitar and you're like, oh man, I love da-da-ba-ba, whatever that song is, I don't know. Made it up, but da-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-bam, da-dum. Figure out that interval and match it with your sheet. It was a major second. Okay, a longer lesson today, but it was a really important one because that establishes the foundations of ear training, and it's so important, as you're gonna see in the next videos. This week, every day of the week, there's a new video where we're gonna cover playing by ear on the guitar using these different concepts. All right, thank you for watching this video. If this is your first visit, consider subscribing every single week, typically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. A new video like this one comes out, so subscribe, hit the bell notification, download the assets for here, and also check out that very, very special bundle that is available right now in ear training on the website. The link is also below. It's only this week. If you're watching this video later in the year, I'm sorry. You can still get the assets for this video, but check it out because you're gonna get, oh my gosh, check it out. I can't tell you what you're gonna get. It's too good to be true. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Practice well.